I'd like to ask you a little bit about the company. The DieselTek is a startup with a fantastic future, it seems to me, from what you've been saying. I'm always curious about the formation of young companies, young, powerful companies with great ideas and great purposes, the internal camaraderie, how people got together, how they kind of latched onto one another and became friends and decided to move forward with a common purpose. Do you mind telling me a little bit about the formation of the company?
I can tell you, Eric Wheeler is the founder of our company, but he's worked in emissions, clean air emissions industry for 20 years. Has been involved with engines since he was 16 years old, everything from racing motorcycles to being a completely certified General Motors mechanic and running his own shops, but realized that there was a bigger purpose. He had his own life-changing event that happened where sort of a near-death experience that he had, and when he came out of that, he realized that he needed to do something a little broader with his life and started pursuing really creating an environment that people could live in. He had lost some members to cancer and family members to cancer and whatnot. So there's a personal motivation there, and there's a personal really a motivation on the 4 principles in the company, which I'm one of. And on that, Eric has, like I said, he'd worked in this area for 20 years. He took existing technologies that were working in like the automotive industry that we could adapt, like the engine flush. It's been in the automotive industry for 15, 18 years at this point, but it's never been adapted to diesel. There are additives that have been out there that have been proven for 20, 30, 40 years, but for whatever reason have not been able to penetrate the market and get out there. And so that's what we've been able to do with our fuel additives. Okay. We have 2 or 3 other technologies that are in development right now that we're bringing on the line, from high efficiency air filters and taking every aspect of that engine to see what we can do to make it more efficiently. We'll operate more efficient. Eric was in his testing, was working with another gentleman named Todd Butts. Todd is a 27-year veteran of the Army. He was a master mechanic there, worked on everything from M1 tanks to helicopters, was a helicopter test pilot. And Todd's one of these guys that you could literally give him a hunk of metal the size of this table and he'd build you whatever he wants out of it. That's amazing. Okay? He understands the fine nuances of every type of engine, and whether it's a turbine engine or diesel or a gasoline engine, how they work. He's our chief technical officer, phenomenal background in that. And Eric, being sort of the founder of this, he needed someone who had good financial background and understood the marketplace from a financial side, business side. Was introduced to a gentleman named Bill Moon, and Bill's he's actually been one of the leading gold analysts back in the 80s. Oh, wow. Very distinguished careers, done a number of startups himself. So he's unique from a chief financial officer perspective because he has been in the startup environment. He knows what those are about, and he actually put the business plan together and structured the whole sort of rollout of how this would work financially for investors. Yes, sir. And Bill and I have worked together for 20 years. We've done a couple major, we'll say, political or social campaigns in the U.S. where he was the economist behind it and I was the public relations marketing spokesperson for that. We've done 2 startups together. We were in the internet business in the internet sector back in the late 90s, early 2000, and so we're both very versed in working together. And Bill knew my background as far as marketing, sales, public relations, and overall business management. Introduced me to Eric, and we hit it off right away, sort of how we came around. This is my 5th startup that I've done. Oh, wow. So it's an area I enjoy quite a bit. And interestingly enough, I have 12 years of heavy-duty diesel fleet maintenance or somebody's fleet management behind me. Growing up as a young man, my family had a large food and milk and ice cream company that we had about 100 pieces of rolling stock, and at the age of 16 I started driving trucks, and it's sort of seems like another lifetime, and I never thought that would come back and pay dividends at this point, but it's a tremendous base of knowledge that I'm able to apply into this industry now.
That's fantastic.